It's just coming up to 6:10 on your drive. And of course, it can only mean one thing. It's Ask the Mayor Mondays with Peter Taylor. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Benjy.
I feel like that introduction warrants some kind of jingle. But
I'd love a jingle.
Well, we'll see what we can do. I'll get one of the minions to do it. Of course, there are no minions here because we're social distancing. Anyway, I digress. How has this week been? It's been quite a busy week, I'm sure, coming out of the John Lewis closure announcement. Tell us more.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt it's been a difficult week. Real sadness in the town about the fact that John Lewis won't be reopening. I know we spoke about it last week, but the fact that it's been there and its predecessors for 140 years, and generations of people working there and memories. So no doubt that's really tough for the town.
And 15,000 signatures on a petition. When it's something that's not related to statute or lawmaking, would you say this petition might be quite difficult to become effective, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it shows the strength of feeling. It shows how much, John Lewis means to Watford. As I said to you, I spoke to the management last week about it. I've asked for a meeting with the chairman, Dame Sharon White, and there's lots of people that are very unhappy, including myself, about the fact that John Lewis won't be reopening. What I want to do is make sure that we continue to have a successful town centre. If I'm being honest with you, I think it is. I will make the case as much as I can, but am I expecting the store to reopen? I'm not expecting that to happen, but I do realise how sad the town is about this decision.
WeWork, the co-working space, will that come into John Lewis's space?
Well, that's not been decided what will happen there. I think that the way that people are working is definitely changing. I've been working from home for the last 3 months, like many other people, and I think one of the things that might well happen is that people are choosing to work from home some days, but they'll want office space other days, they want places for meetings, and so we've got to have flexible space that meets the demands that we have in the town. So that is definitely one thing we're looking at, and also having leisure space, for example, is really important as well in a town centre now. Well,
sign me up for one of those spaces. I want the part nearer the Costa Coffee. Some good news, which is heartwarming because, we've had a tough few months, and we're going to have a further few tough months, but Oxhey Activity Park. So is this a space of land which was open for children to use before, or tell me more about it?
So Oxhey Activity Park is on the north side of Oxhey Park. So those people who know Oxhey Park, well, it has a river running through it, and then on one side you've got kind of woodland and fields and a play park. But on the other side it was a field that wasn't particularly well used. We had a new road, Thomas Sawyer Way, going to the hospital, and so it was felt that we could use that space better, and so now we've invested in this new cafe, new facilities for people on bikes and cyclists and skateboarders, and also play facilities for children. So it's looking really great. I was there on Saturday myself with my kids doing the litter pick in the park, and it was great to see it coming on really well, and we're hoping that in the next couple of months that'll be opening up for everyone to enjoy.
A grand opening with a well-known local celebrity. My.
Have you got some scissors ready, Benjy, to cut the ribbon?
I'll have to ask Anthony Joshua then, I suppose, or Elton John if he can do it. Otherwise, yes, I'll be there with. I've got the scissors ready, and I've even got the ribbon. Just quickly before I let you go, we talk about live performances. We talked about this a bit before, kind of open air. I mean, are we going to see anything in Watford that makes use of our open-air spaces and our huge capacity for the arts?
Yeah, it's interesting you should say that. So the last meeting I was just at, we were talking about the town centre and the fact that obviously the government's announcement about discounted meals for people eating out during August, and I think it's really important that our restaurants in Watford can open out, have lots of tables and chairs on the high street, and then also that it's a nice environment for people, so there will be performers in the High Street during August, and also looking at obviously the bandstand as well, if we can have performances there, because I think it's really important for people's well-being and mental health and all the rest of it, that as well as support to the local economy, that our town centre and our parks are places that people can come together and enjoy. Do that safely, of course, but make sure that people's spirits are kept up.
So might we see a production of Midsummer Night's Dream performed in the round in Castleberry Park?
I think that one of the difficulties is about the numbers that you're allowed to gather together. So there are still restrictions. I think it's 30 people at the moment that can gather together. So we're looking at kind of doing small scale things. So if people are in the town centre, there'll be a performer doing something, which we can do in the current situation. But Watford's a great place for arts and culture, and we want to make sure that it stays that way. So when we're allowed to do it and do it safely, we'll make sure that there's lots of performances for people to enjoy.
Brilliant, wonderful. That is the Watford Mayor Peter Taylor there, keeping us informed, entertained and across all the pressing issues. Next up, it's Kygo and Zara Larson.